So good day, good morning, Indonesian time, Thailand time, and Malaysian time, and also good evening for the ones in the US. Dear audiences, welcome to the 51st IPB Talk on the complexity and sustainability sciences, and also the opening of IPB summer course on sustainable agroindustry. My name is Biladini Lovely, and I will be today's moderator. First off, on behalf of the organizers, we would like to extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed audiences. First is representatives of the IPB University, including the head of Department of Agro-Industrial Engineering, Professor Suprihatin, Villanova University, United States, including over here we have Professor Justino Satrio, and our today's distinguished speaker, Dr. Jordan Emilio, and the other representatives from the University Putra Malaysia and Maijo University, Thailand. We also would like to welcome the fellow partners and video contributors, Jakarta State University or UNJ, including here we have the Dean of Adisha Putra and Indonesia Education University or UPI. And also everyone, of course, the Zoom and YouTube attendees, our sincere gratitude for your time to participate between your very busy schedule today, perhaps. And we will listen to first presentations by Dr. Jordan, and also in between video showcases from the partner universities, dean and representative student participants. Before we would have remark and official opening speech by the IPB University rector or representatives. Meanwhile, for those who wish later to ask questions, please kindly type in the chat box of Zoom and YouTube, and we will discuss later together during the Q&A sessions. So to officially start our today's event, I think we are pleased first to showcase the video by the 5 partner universities from the IPB University, Villanova University, and University Putra Malaysia, Maijo University, Jakarta State University, and Indonesia Education University. So I think over here our host Panga will share the video and showcase the video by the 5 partner universities from the IPB University, Villanova University, and University Putra Malaysia, Maijo University, Jakarta State University, and Indonesia Education University. So I think over here our host Panga will share the video and showcase the video by the 5 partner universities from the IPB University, Villanova University, and University Putra Malaysia, Maijo University, Jakarta State University, and Indonesia Education University. So I think over here our host Panga will share the video and
IPB University Indonesia
showcase the video by the 5 partner universities from the IPB University, Villanova University, and University of Malaysia, Maijo University, Jakarta State University, and Indonesia Education University. So I think over here our host Panga will share the video and
IPB University Indonesia
showcase the video by the 5 partner universities from the IPB University, Villanova University, and University of Malaysia, Maijo University, Jakarta State University, and Indonesia Education University. So I think over here our host Panga will share the video and
IPB University Indonesia
showcase the video by the 5 partner universities from the IPB University, Villanova University, and University of Malaysia, Maijo University, Jakarta State University, and Indonesia Education University. So I think over here our host Panga will share the video and
IPB University Indonesia
showcase the video by the 5 partner universities from the IPB University, Villanova University, and University of Malaysia, Maijo University, Jakarta State University, and Indonesia Education University.
Distinguished guests and participants of summer course on sustainable agro-industry, on behalf of Faculty of Technology and Vocational Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia or UPI, It is a great honor to extend to you all a very warm remark to the virtual opening ceremony of International Summer Course 2020 held by IPB University. I am pleased to let you know that UPI as a partner of IPB University can take part to this fruitful event. We delegate our best students from the study program of Agro-Industry Technology Education to participate in this international virtual summer course. I believe this activity will increase student knowledge and competency as well as expand their networks and provide valuable experiences. Finally, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the Director of IPB University and the committees for making this summer course possible. I hope this will be a successful event. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is a great honor for me as a Dean of Faculty of Math and Science, the State University of Jakarta, to thanks and to give my most sincere appreciation to all of the Committee Agro-Industry Summer Course of IPB 2020 has given the opportunity for 24 ONG students to participate in the program. As a background, up to now, our students learn about chocolate tea mainly from the science perspective. Therefore, it is expected that the participating student can get the most out of this course so that they will later learn on how chocolate and tea as a raw material can be further processed to become high-value industry goods. Through this course, I hope that the students get to know how to work and in international environment, which will be good to their personal development. I do hope that another similar course will follow the future that will give benefit for the students who take part in it. All in all, I wish you good luck in the 2020 Agro-Industry Summer Course. Thank you.
Hi, Sawasdee, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Faculty of Engineering and Agro-Industry, Major University, Chiang Mai, Thailand, I'm ready to my tribute to your great efforts and cooperation for this online international summer course and virtual field trip on sustainable agro-industry. I believe that basic knowledge, insight, and innovation are the main factors for rural capacity building to be implemented by young students for solution to our sustainable future. I'm sure this online summer course will be very productive and our collaboration will strengthen the link with our respective university. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you very much for the video showcase from the deans, and apologies before for the audio glitch from my side. And now we may proceed to the one of our main agendas today. And please do allow me to read the short biography of our speaker, Dr. Jordan Emilio. So Dr. Jordan Emilio completed his master's in water resources engineering at Villanova University, United States, and his PhD at the Water Engineering Development Center at Loughborough University, UK. He has been directly involved with the engineering design and implementations of community development projects in countries throughout Southeast Asia, Central America, and also Africa. He served as the U.S. Peace Corps volunteer in the Philippines and has worked with the Oxfam International in East Timor. He is also the co-founder of the Villanova Engineering Surface Learning Program and is currently the director of the Center for Humanitarian Engineering and International Development, and as well the professor of practice at Villanova University's College of Engineering. His current research focus is on the sustainable management of water infrastructures in developing communities. He has been happily married for 18 years and has two children, a boy aged 12 and a girl aged 10. And without further ado, we happily invite Dr. Jordan to start his presentations over here. Again, we can see on the screen, entitled Sustainability, Adding Values to Local Communities in the Rural Area. So Dr. Jordan, the time is yours.
So thank you very much for this special honor. I really appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about my experience and really the collaboration between IPB and Villanova. It is my pleasure and my honor to really foster this relationship and this partnership as best as I can. And I would like to just recognize Dr. Satrio for all of his efforts and really want to thank the leadership at IPB for putting these opportunities together, your creativity in these complicated times, and your diligence and really the opportunity here that you've created. It's a very special one. So I do want to thank everyone for all of the work that was put into creating this opportunity in this summer course and this summer program. So thank you very much for this opportunity. So my name is Jordan Ermilio, Dr. Ermilio, Dr. Jordan. You can call me Jordan, that's fine. Today we are introducing the summer program on sustainable agriculture, and the topic that I'm talking about is adding value to local commodities in rural areas. And I would like to also touch a little bit on the complexities and issues around sustainable development. Certainly it's a very complex challenge and a complex problem. So I was going to touch on that a little bit as well. Before I get started, I would like to share a little bit about the program at Villanova that I'm the director of. Dr. Satrio, who's also here with us today, is also very much involved with this. It is a new program. We just launched this Center for Humanitarian Engineering and International Development. It is an outgrowth from our previous program, which was the Engineering Service Learning Program. And that Engineering Service Learning Program still exists, but now it's a part of a center. And so the three hallmarks of this center are creating curriculum to establish international outreach and to build humanitarian engineering opportunities for students at Villanova and beyond, is to engage with partner organizations internationally in terms of research and really looking at research as a service to nonprofit humanitarian organizations. And of course, continue our service outreach initiatives that we've been working on for many years now. So this is sort of a snapshot overview of our current partners. And of course, IPB, we signed a memorandum of agreement with IPB in 2017, I believe. I know we started the relationship around 2017, and perhaps it was the year later that we formalized the memorandum of understanding and the partnership agreement with IPB, which is very special. So as a personal introduction, it's always important, I think, for everyone to appreciate the context with which people are bringing their particular knowledge and information and experience to a discussion. So my background is somewhat complicated. I think you introduced me perfectly, really well. I did graduate with an undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering. I did some work with Loughborough University, and that's where I have completed my PhD. I lived and worked in the Philippines doing rural development work for 3 years. I was in an area called Ifugao. It's in northern Luzon, a very mountainous area, very mountainous part of the country. Was working primarily on renewable energy and water supply projects, but it was very much I was very much engaged in the community development work in this particular part of the country. Beyond that, I worked with Oxfam International in East Timor, formerly a part of Indonesia. And I lived there for a couple of years doing post-conflict emergency relief work right around the turn of the century, where East Timor became an independent country within the archipelago of Indonesia. And then I came back to Villanova, completed my master's, and I did my PhD work, and have founded the Engineering Service Learning Program and now the Center for Humanitarian Engineering. And so my perspective on community development and sustainable agriculture is very much a grassroots perspective because of my prior experience. And in fact, I try to sort of describe myself as not being an academic in nature. My real passion is community development work, particularly in rural communities. So I really appreciate the topic that's being discussed here today. So to touch on the topic a little bit in more detail, one of the subject areas was adding value. And I think it's a very important thing when you're engaged in community development work and you're engaged in sustainable agriculture development is to really appreciate the expertise that exists within the local community themselves. And I always describe the scenario where, as foreigners to a particular community, and it doesn't matter what nationality you are, if you're doing community development work and you're doing sustainable agriculture, you're absolutely going to connect to the community development side of the project. Very often, even if you're a national of that country, it's pretty obvious when I'm involved in community development work, especially in other countries, that I'm a foreigner. But when you're engaged in a project, you also have to realize that you are foreign to that community, right? And so respecting and appreciating the knowledge that exists in that community is a really important first step in engaging in that development project. And so by way of an example, I'd like to share this story here, wherein this was a project that I had worked on in the past with a group of students, in fact, from Villanova, where we were working in Ifugao in the Philippines. This is a picture of Fernando Bahatan, and one of our students is also in this picture. And ultimately, the challenge that was being addressed was adding value to local products. And had we came into this particular area, this particular community, with certain expectations or perceptions about the local community, we would never have actually met Fernando Bahatan. He was a local innovator who was solving his own challenges around adding value to local commodities. And really the challenge was farm to market roads and the cost of transporting product to the market. In this particular case, he was growing lemongrass in his farm, and he decided that it wasn't worth it to produce lemongrass, because for about 80 kilograms of lemongrass, you would get about $4 at the local market. However, the challenge was, of course, that the cost to get that product to the market was going to be about $1.50 or even as much as $2. So for 3 months of growing and all of the labor involved in producing 80 kilograms of raw lemongrass, it wasn't worth his time to sell it at the local market, because it was going to cost him $2 to get it there, take 3 months to create that product, and ultimately only gain $2 for that effort. And so what he decided to do was to create a distillery in his local community. And that's what you're looking at in the background of this particular picture. And so as an engineer, I'm sort of also an engineer, my initial solution to this would have been improve the road, right? Because I'm looking at the farm to market road, trying to reduce the cost of getting that product to the market. But he looked at this from a different point of view and said, no, add value to the product itself. And so he started to create byproducts from lemongrass, essential oils, organic fertilizers, and organic pesticides that he was extracting from a hydrosol product that he was creating from raw lemongrass. And so now he was increasing that 80 kilograms at that $4 value to $10, $15, $20 once he added value to the product. And so I think it's really important to respect and appreciate the local community because they live the problem. They understand the problem better than anybody. And ultimately, when you can connect with that local farmer, with the local producer, you can actually improve the process a lot more. So our teams in this particular example, we were evaluating his distillery process and trying to use engineering concepts and heat transfer and thermodynamics to improve the process that he was already engaged in. So this is where we come up with this expression that we have in our program, local solutions for local problems. In other words, our role as external engineers is to identify local innovators that are already solving problems and make their solutions even better. And so that's just a snapshot example of a project that we had worked on. Something that also occurred to me, and I'd like to just share another little story about some of my experience having had worked in the Philippines. This is I had the pleasure of living and working in this particular community here. This is called Banawi, Ifugao. It's somewhat of a well-known World Heritage Site within the Philippines. It's the Banawi Rice Terraces. And something that really struck me living within this community, lived here for 3 years, loved every minute of it, hiked through these mountains on a regular basis, working on community development projects, really one of the highlights of my life, to be honest with you. And what occurred to me was this connection, living in this area. What occurred to me was this connection between energy, water, and food. And so I started to really explore this water, energy, food nexus. And it was really shocking when you start to appreciate the amount of energy and the amount of water that goes into producing food. And so something else that I had the opportunity to work on, and again, using this particular concept of working within the local community, helping them to identify solutions to their problems and their issues, and then introducing engineering and introducing technical assistance to help them solve the problems, but really helping them develop the solution, and ultimately using technology, engineering, and sort of a community development approach to helping them solve their own problems, right? As sort of a way to really ensure sustainability. And that's ultimately the key. So what we were looking at in this particular project was this particular water source was actually feeding rice fields for irrigation purposes. And the community wanted to tap into that hydropotential energy that they were using in an irrigation system so that when they were flooding the fields, they could flood and plant during the planting season. They could plant those fields. And when they were harvesting, they could actually bypass the fields with that water resource and produce mechanical energy for the purposes of milling the rice and drying the rice, right? So this is what you're looking at here is a small little hydroelectric facility that this particular community designed, and certainly I helped. I was very much involved in this particular project, but the idea being to tap into the water resources that existed for irrigating these fields, so that when they don't need the water resources for the harvesting period, they could actually use it for milling and drying purposes. And so this is what you're looking at here. And to be honest with you, sort of as a foreigner to this particular community, I would have never personally thought of this solution, right? I would have maybe had other ideas, you know, and this was this solution was much more sustainable because it came from the community themselves. And so that's a really important part of that overall agriculture and sustainable agriculture process is particularly around rural developing communities, is to really work within those communities to help them develop the solutions so that they own those solutions. And through that ownership, they have the resources and they have the mandate to operate and maintain those particular solutions, those particular technologies. So I wanted to transition a little bit and start talking a little bit about the difference between sustainability and sustainable development, right? And for the most part, when you're talking about sustainable development, and if you're talking about this particular example that we were describing and talking about in the previous slide, if we're really talking about, say, an irrigation system where you're trying to use that resource for mechanical mechanization of agriculture, right? Sort of that agricultural mechanization, but improving or increasing the value of that raw product. So in this particular example from the previous slide, raw palay, as it's called in the Philippines, it's raw rice, unmilled, undried, or sort of semi-dried rice, will get you about 50 cents per kilogram. I'm sorry, 20 cents per kilogram. But if that rice is dried and milled and it becomes a further value added in that value chain, small amounts of processing, really about 3 to 6 days of additional processing, it might take 3 to 6 months to grow and harvest that resource, that raw palay, that raw product. But it would take 6 to 10 days to further dry it and then to process it in the form of milling, which will get you 50 cents per kilogram. So it goes from about 20 cents a kilogram to about 50 cents per kilogram, just with that extra 6 to 10 days of processing. So an enormous incentive for local communities to add value to their products. And so this is sort of the project, right? So what you have is the difference between sustainability and sustainable development. Really, in this particular example, the development project is that last step, right? Converting and increasing that value added component to raw rice. Now, sustainability is very often just looking at the environmental constraints of the project. So does this project have zero impact on the environment? Or what are the long-term environmental impacts, right? And that's really what sustainability looks at. It's looking at development through the lens of the environment and the environmental impact. But sustainable development, the project itself, really looks at a more holistic view of sustainability. So what it looks at, and it starts to look at social constraints, right? This is where the social cohesion of the community themselves comes into play. The initial needs assessment, the behavior within a particular community, all of the social elements that go into ensuring that a project will be sustainable in the long term. Furthermore, there's technical constraints to a project, right? So this is really where you're adding in other elements of the development side, right? So now we're talking about sustainable development because you're talking about social, environmental, technical aspects. The technical implementation of that project has to be considered. Long-term operation and maintenance needs, the initial design and construction and the quality of the initial construction all has to be considered within this framework of sustainable development. Furthermore, you have to consider the economic constraints, the financing for a project, the long-term operational costs, the initial capital costs. And one of the things that often gets neglected is the political framework around sustainability, around sustainable development. This is really where that external support comes into play, whether there's governance or certain rules and regulations that are associated with a particular project. So this is a framework which is a lot different than just sustainability, right? Sustainability looking at the environmental constraints and sustainable development looking at all of these holistic elements. And certainly this gets very complex, right? And so I think this is where the theme of the class for this particular program is really, really timely and really important, because the complexity that's associated with this type of framework can be very, very real and very hard to manage. So I think the key to sustainable development is really ensuring the management capacity around that technology. And really, this is where this concept of sustainable management comes into play, wherein you're actually trying to create a structure around the technology, around the initiative that can mitigate what could be external threats to long-term sustainability. And certainly that is, these particular constraints are very complex. It's not so much that these external factors can influence or compromise the sustainability of the project itself. Let's just call it an irrigation system, for example. But these particular constraints also influence each other in a very nonlinear, complex, dynamic way, which creates a very difficult scenario when it comes to ensuring long-term sustainability. So this is the subject of our course for this semester, for this summer program. I'm really excited to engage in these discussions further. And I wanted to end on one particular note, which I think is some additional motivation for our teams here in the coming weeks. So anyone who's involved in this program and in this course, please think about a few things and some of the stuff that we're talking about tonight, and just start to think about ways to add value throughout the process of developing agricultural products. Everything from the production side. I think my example this evening kind of shares a little bit by way of a story of a particular community, but certainly there's very clear steps in the overall agricultural process. And there's certainly mechanization and technology that gets included in some of this. But in terms of production, all the way through harvesting and processing, transportation, and so on to the end product, to the end customer, they're all different steps in that overall process. And the question is, how can you really add value throughout this entire process of developing food and also considering the water, energy, food nexus and how these different elements interact with each other. One thing that I'd like to share is sort of my personal opinion about how to add value throughout that supply chain. And this is where, if you can agree that management is the key to ensuring sustainable development, then I would pose that measuring is the key to effective management, in that you cannot manage what you don't measure. And unless you can measure the production process and measure the different steps in the overall agricultural process, you'll have a very difficult time managing, right, each step of that process. And so something that's really engaging and I think exciting for everybody that's involved in these type of projects in the coming weeks, and perhaps even as a career, is this notion that information communication technologies and what is known as the Internet of Things really changes the game when it comes to monitoring and measuring different parts of the overall agriculture process. And so this is where instruments and sensors can really be used to monitor the performance and at the very front end of the progress of the production process in terms of producing agriculture products. And certainly every step of the way, low-cost sensors, low-cost computing platforms, ways to communicate with cellular networks, relay information back to farmers and back to different stakeholders throughout the agricultural mechanization process is really going to be an important step in terms of developing sustainability throughout the agriculture process in years to come. And so I think this is a very interesting time to be involved in these type of projects and this type of work. And I want to welcome everybody to this summer program and thank everyone for your time and really being interested in this topic. I think this is a really exciting topic and certainly something that is going to challenge our entire world for many years to come, in fact, perhaps for decades to come, in terms of how do we actually produce food for 9, 10, 11, 12 billion people on the planet. And really it's going to rely on increasing efficiencies throughout this agriculture process. And I really feel that we are at the front end of this, and I'm excited to see where some of the projects go with this class. And again, I want to thank the IPB staff for including me in this effort. So here's my email, and these are the 12 and the 10-year-old, which were referenced earlier. So thank you very much, and look forward to continuing this discussion.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Jordan Emilio, for very fascinating experiences that you shared with us this morning or this evening at your time. So I think now I believe we would have questions from the audiences. And as I've mentioned before, we are now opening the Q&A session or questions and answers. And please, for the audiences, could be anyone from students, from the lecturers, from any participants, to please type your questions on the Zoom room and also the YouTube chat box. And I think while we're still waiting for any of the participants over here to type their questions in the chat box, or maybe anyone who would like to have the questions like live for you can also unmute the video and also show the video in your audio as well. So I think I would have some few questions that I got from your presentations, Dr. Jordan. So something that you mentioned, like the very complex elements and relationship between those the implementations of the sustainable development. How, according to your experiences in many countries, it's not only in America or United States, you were in the other Southeast Asia countries and Africa as well. How do you think one stakeholder or one group of, this one, how do you think we, as the actor of the sustainable development, can actualize the holistic implementations of this maybe this project or this mission?
So to be honest with you, I sort of see this particular diagram as a little bit of a lens of research, right? So I do think that academia plays a very important role in some of this, wherein this interconnected nature is a subject for ongoing research. And certainly as a development practitioner, I think the ultimate key to success with sustainable development is working in this participatory model, this community participatory model to development. Because at the end of the day, I really feel that the best way to understand a problem is to live the problem. And really the local community members themselves are experts at certain challenges related to sustainability. And so sort of the purpose of this particular diagram is to highlight the fact that this interconnected nature of sustainable indicators or factors that could influence sustainability are going to be unique for every particular project, for every particular community. For every place in the world, this particular challenge will be different. And ultimately what ends up happening is you'll never know how these connections relate in such a way to essentially create what could be like a critical frequency of failure, right? In other words, development that fails is very hard and very difficult to identify, well, this particular project failed because of this reason. And it's never a single problem. It's always a complex scenario. So I do think that, in order to really address this, it requires a lot of planning at the community development level and sort of this participatory planning, an appreciation for this these complexities. And I would also say that, where you can actually create sustainability plans at the community level when it comes to community infrastructure. And I'm trying to use the example of irrigation or sort of the agriculture type of community development work, where you can actually identify priorities in this framework and work with those communities to develop sustainability plans so that they can better anticipate modes of failure. That is where you're starting to address that long-term sustainable development need. So I hope that answers your question. I know I kind of went on in a little bit of a circle, but it certainly is complex.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Jordan. For sure is not an easy thing to do, but quite intrigued as well by I think one of your experience in Sri Lanka, that I heard that you were in Sri Lanka, also in the Philadelphia area development project. So maybe would you please share a little bit more?
So my apologies. I'm having some difficulty with the sound at the moment. Are you hearing me okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I believe
okay,
about sharing some of my other questions, my other experiences. You mentioned Sri Lanka, I think, and some work in Philadelphia.
Exactly. Yeah,
sure.
That will be amazing for us to hear from you.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, my experience is pretty diverse. In Sri Lanka, I was working as a part of a post-tsunami relief effort. We were doing solar-powered water pumping systems in that part of Sri Lanka that was impacted by the tsunami. I believe that was in 2006. Well, the tsunami was 2004. So my work was sort of after that. And it was really looking at renewable energy as a means to pump water for community water infrastructure. So certainly there's sustainability elements to that. The work that I've done in Philadelphia, outside of Villanova, the majority of my work in the Philadelphia area has been at the academic level at a university. But I have done quite a bit of work in construction, just sort of in because of life's experience gave me the opportunity to do some construction. And I did some work with what are called LEED certified homes, which basically is looking at the envelope of a house, because in the United States, we're in the Northern Hemisphere. So we have to deal with these extreme temperatures from hot to cold. It goes below zero at times. So it's freezing temperatures where we have enormous amount of energy that's required to heat our homes. And then even in the summer months where it goes as much as 100 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So wherein we need to also consume a lot of energy cooling our homes. So I've done a little bit of work in that area around construction of homes, looking at heating and cooling systems, and doing what's called LEED certified homes, which is leadership in energy efficient design, which is LEED. So I did some of that work as well, but it was outside of the academia, more as a project engineer.
Dr. Jordan, may I have some question for you?
Sure.
Okay, I'm just wondering that during your work, it means that you brought your student also to what's it called, to getting along that project. I'm just wondering how the system in university so they could earning the credit for the in the curriculum, and not only for have the experience, international experiences, but also they can earning the credit for their study. Can you just explain a
Oh,
little,
of course.
bit?
Yeah, I'd be happy to talk about that. So, at least in the College of Engineering, we've been building our international outreach initiatives for many years. Really started right around the 2004, 2005 timeframe, but we slowly kind of integrated different opportunities for students, and we have had a lot of experience. I could spend hours telling you what not to do. Right? Because we've made a lot of mistakes, and we've figured things out over the years. So it's been a very iterative process in terms of building our international outreach. At the moment, we have a minor in humanitarian engineering, which just was launched. It was just recently launched. So, but it took us about 10 years to build up to the point where we had enough interest and enough momentum behind our program to create that type of coursework. So we have a minor in humanitarian engineering. Prior to that, what we did with all of our international outreach efforts is we put together a series of 1-credit seminars. So in the US at Villanova, a single course, typical semester course in engineering is 3 credits. So we would have a 3-credit course. I believe it's similar in Indonesia as well. So what we did was, with our engineering teams, we put together a series of 1-credit courses so that students could engage on different projects as in a seminar, project seminar type of class. And they could engage with our international partners as a part of that seminar class. Now, what students can do is they can accumulate those 1-credit courses over time and offset some technical or non-technical electives as a part of their overall effort. But really the purpose of that 1-credit seminar was to orient students to working internationally, give them the cultural and historical background, do a lot of project planning, engage with that partner over a period of time. Sometimes it's 1 to 2 week periods of time. And then at the back end of the overall semester, at the back end of the course, was to pull together all of the project deliverables for the semester. So it's a 1-credit course, and ultimately that has been the key to our success in terms of engaging with our international partners. Now, the majority of our partners are humanitarian nonprofit NGOs, non-government organizations. We also have some partnerships with universities like IPB. But it was that 1-credit seminar course that really built the majority of these opportunities and engaged. Over the course of a year, we would typically have close to 100 students with dirt on their shoes doing community development work in another country. The other key to our success has been working with organizations who implement projects. Our partners implement projects, and our students provide engineering design services to those organizations. And a third component to our overall efforts has been, and I don't know if you have this in Indonesia, but in the US, most engineering programs have what is called a senior thesis or a senior capstone project or senior design project. And that's a full 3-credit course. And sometimes it's even 6 credits of sort of thesis or research-based projects. So through those different elements, working with organizations that implement and have the capacity to implement projects, 1-credit seminar courses, and the 3 to 6 credits of senior design, research, senior project type of courses, we've been really able to engage with international organizations all over the world. And in fact, now we have 16 partners in 12 different countries.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ibu Endang, for the questions. I think we have one question finally from John. So, hi, Dr. Jordan. My name is John. I would like to ask, I wonder what would be the impact for the particular communities if they don't feel like they own the efficient solution for their agriculture. Does it have significant impacts compared to the ones that they initiate themselves? Thank you.
So it's an excellent question, and I think you know the answer to that, right? I love it when people ask questions that I feel like they perhaps even have an opinion. So if you don't mind, is it Joan or Joanne? Maybe I could ask you to unmute and you can share your opinion about this. Perhaps you've had some prior experience doing this, and that's what led you to ask this question.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Jordan. I'm John. No, actually, I already have this particular subjects at my campus, actually, but we never have experience on the agriculture communities. So we don't really know if it's really that significant if the particular communities don't really own their ideas. I mean, like, what if I want to ideate a solution for them? Would they be able to accept that? Or in my questions, I mean, like, what should we do? What should we, how should we approach them so that they could understand our solution and being able to own it, as you have explained earlier. Thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah, it's a really great question, and a lot of it has to do with your initial approach in that community, and your initial engagement, and really trying to demonstrate a certain amount of sincerity and authenticity as a person. Very often, the engineering part of it, right, the technology part of it can be simple. As compared to the social aspects of things. And I very often I describe, scenarios where, particularly, by the way, Joan, are you an engineering student, or are you an agriculture, economics? What is your sort of study?
Oh, yeah. My major is agro-industry engineering, sir.
Uh-huh. Okay. So it's very interesting. And if I could just share a little bit about a philosophy and a little bit about a story, and then maybe I'll get to your question as well. Very often as engineers, right, we go into a particular project looking to solve a problem. We're looking at ways to use engineering design and technology and math and science to solve a particular problem. And as engineers, we'll also put together project scopes and deliverables and a project schedule, right, to complete certain tasks at a certain time, the criteria that you develop for a particular project. Eventually, in this overall process, you start to realize that you need to build certain relationships in that community in order for the project to be successful, right? Because without the relationships, without the social elements that are associated with the project will eventually fail, right? And so what ends up happening is, the project, might have its time frame, could be a 1 year or 2 year project, and the project, is implemented, is completed, and so on. And then it's interesting because the reverse happens. It turns out that the relationships, especially in some of the international rural development communities, the relationships that were developed are more important than the project itself, right? So you built these relationships for the sake of the project, but it turns out that the project was really just a tool to build relationships. And really that relationship side of it is one of the most important pieces to sustainability in my mind. Because it's the relationship that motivates people. It's that sort of external relationship and that engagement that ultimately motivates people beyond what might be just pure economics or pure development or these incremental improvements in the quality of life, very often people are motivated by relationships. And so I think that's a really important part of that overall sustainability, is that relationship building side. And I think at the front end of a project, if you can build the relationships, and of course you're planning, and you have to listen very closely to the local stakeholders. You have to hear their opinions. You have to hear their suggestions. You have to ideate with them, right? You're talking about ideating and sort of creating ideas to solve a problem. But I would pose that you might not understand the problem as well as the local community understands the problem, because they live the problem. So if you can immerse yourself in that local community, work with them to ideate, facilitate that ideation process, facilitate that planning and developing solutions, you'll find that those solutions through that process, and it's really about the relationships that exist there, that will make it successful. The solutions that get developed in that type of approach, that initial approach, will be much more sustainable long term.
I see. Thank you so much, Dr. Jordan, for the
Yes, of
explanation.
course.
Greatly appreciated.
Great question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jordan, and also John. I'm sorry, I watched the pronunciation of your name. So I think we have Professor Mirna Machik here to raise the hand. Also, give the questions. Thank you, Ibu Mirna.
Hello, thank you, Dini. Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Nice to see you and meet you again here in this platform.
Yes, good to see you.
Yes, for sure. So I appreciate everything you shared with us and your experiences as well. So my question to you, for the framework of design of what the students can expect within these few weeks ahead, kind of piggybacking on that idea of implementation, because perhaps we may or may not arrive there. So how do we prioritize? What would be kind of the measure of success for students coming out of this course, in your opinion?
Well, I honestly think that, and from my personal experience doing a lot of the technology side of development, I certainly feel that having some of these proof of concept prototypes are an important part of research and development for technologies. And I certainly think that the learning opportunity that's presented to students should be the means by which we measure success. We're in an academic setting. It's about the learning opportunity that's being presented. And you can never take learning off the table when it comes to engaging in projects and even with communities themselves. Certainly there's a learning that happens at the community level, and there's an exchange of ideas and a learning that goes on both sides, from the academics and the students and the professors to the communities themselves. So I really feel that learning should be the framework which we measure our success in these type of programs, in these type of classes. And certainly the depth of the relationships and the overall experience that's gained is really, really valuable. Now, if I was trying to develop solutions to a sustainable agriculture challenge of some kind, I think that really developing some proof of concept and demonstrating the need for certain technologies or the need for certain approaches to agriculture and sustainable ag is a really important. Really, I mean that would be an enormous success.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, I think we would have last questions because we are having apologies in advance, because I think our rector is not available because of some urgent issues, but we will have our vice rector for collaboration and information services, Professor Godig, is coming to the room. But I think we have the last question from Anne. Hi, Mr. Jordan. My name is Anne. what percentage of the sustainable development can solve all the problem in the world? And are there any problems in the world cannot be solved by sustainable development? I'm sorry, I cannot unmute my audio because if I unmute my audio, my internet was not stable. That will be fine, Anne. Thank you so much. So, Dr.
Sure, of
John,
course.
thank you.
So Anne, I really enjoy this question too. It's certainly a difficult question. So I'm just going to share my opinion. I can't necessarily say that it's true or false, right? It's just an opinion. But I'm always intrigued by sustainable development goals, right? You know, of course, everyone should be familiar with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And this idea that you can achieve sustainability, I think is probably something which is not true, right? And the reason being is because sustainability is forever, right? So sustainability and sustainable development, sustainability is forever. So how could it ever be achieved? It's a continuous process. It's a never-ending process. I think the idea around sustainable development is, lucky for us, anyone who's doing sustainable development work will never be out of work, right? Because it is forever, right? And it's something that needs to be achieved over time, and you can only work towards something, but you'll never, ever, ever get there because sustainability is forever, right? So I'm always intrigued by the sustainable development goals, and when claims get made that they achieved certain sustainable development goals, right? Certainly, I think anyone who claims that they achieved sustainable development might not appreciate the reality of sustainability or the reality of sustainable development being forever, because it certainly can never be achieved. It's only something you can strive towards, right? I would even suggest that all of the problems of the world can't be solved with sustainable development because you're never going to solve them. You're only going to work towards a solution that is going to be continuous and forever. I got very academic on that answer. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
This is Dr. Jasina Satrio. I would like to little bit to follow up Dr. Emilio's response on this. And,
yeah, please. It could be a debate if we want.
Yeah, this can be a debate. But then I really like what Dr. Jordan mentioned about this. We will never be able to reach sustainable development because then we are always expanding, and then we always life throw wrenches to us, and we never expect what will happen in the world. For example, is this COVID, right? So people think that this because of this COVID, we our life changed or we becoming stuck or whatever it is. But then I feel that we adjust. Okay, so we are still developing, but then in different way. We used to, for example, this summer course, we did this summer course last year, meeting in person. And then, but then this year, we could not do it. And then this summer, last summer, we had to cancel it. But then IPB invited us to do this online. So this is online course. It is, in my opinion, although this is another method of development that you guys join this class and then to learn. And so this is an example that when we're thinking about sustainable development, okay, we want to achieve something, but then the road will we can make a plan, but then it can change on that. But then as long as we make moving forward, and then with the intention to reach the goal, I think that's what matters for me. We'll talk about this more on Tuesday. Our first Dr. Jordan's talk tonight is a really nice opening for our first lecture on Tuesday on that. So I'm looking forward for to see all of you on Tuesday.
Thank you very much, Professor Justinus. I think we're very happy now to have Professor Dodik Ridwanul Rohmat, our Vice Rector for Collaboration Information Systems, with us. So we would like to please invite Bapak Dodik to officially open our summer course on sustainable agro-industry. Time is yours,
Okay.
Bapak.
Thank you very much, Dini. Good morning, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Thai participants, and good evening, American time. Greetings, everyone, all the way from Bogor, West Java, Indonesia. I am Dodi Ridwan Rahmat, Professor and Vice Rector of Collaboration and Information Systems of IPB University, is warmly extending my thanks for all of you for attending this event, although it is still fairly early in morning for most of us. In today's summer course 2020 by IPB Department of Agro-Industrial Engineering, and as well as a part of the 51st IPB talk on complexity and sustainability science. I am happy to be joined by the respectable fellow partners. Villanova University from USA, Major University Thailand, and University Putra Malaysia. Our sincere gratitude for the active organization between all parties, so we can finally today come to this point. We are truly grateful to be part of this teamwork and this virtual delightful opening sessions with all of you who are watching and attending safely and sound from home, wherever you are. Speaking of cooperation between us in the past couple of years, on behalf of IPB Department of Agro-Industrial Engineering, we are very happy to be tied under for ranging joint works with Villanova University, such as international summer courses, conference, and academia, exchange through global funding, including the prestigious Fulbright. In addition, together with our dear neighboring partners, Major University and University Putra Malaysia, for many years, we have been undertaking several collaborations with various departments. Hereby, I am addressing our cordial invitation to collaborate with all of you, counterparts and attendants from all around the world. Quoting slogan of our university, inspiring innovation with integrity in agriculture, ocean, and bioscience for a sustainable world, our sincere wish is for all of us to hand in hand inspire through joint and integrated innovation through associate activities, thereby unlocking the sustainability-driven talent-based potentials in our countries. During the sustainability science theme IPB talk session, we all together have learned from presentation by Dr. Jordan Emilio, the Director of Engineering Service Learning and adjunct professor at College of Engineering, Villanova University, USA, with his general lecture entitled Sustainability, Adding Values to Local Commodities in Rural Area. I do believe we will acquire more to learn on the keywords of agro-industry itself, that is adding value of one commodity to be a product. The summer course also will provide for you practices from Ranen Cafe, Philosophy Cafe, Cafe Farmers Community, from Cafe Village at Sibulau, and expert from Indonesian Industrial and Beverage Crops Research Institute, or Bali 3. As IPB University is greatly concerned on sustainability development goals, or SDGs, throughout visions, we truly promote such even on sustainability reinforcement that can bring us together from diverse perspectives, especially its implementation in rural areas, which take massive percentile of most of our nation's area. Sustainable agro-industry indeed can be the way to go. Once again, I thank you for joining with us as I am officially opening the summer course. Last but definitely not least, I pray for your health and fruitful event together. Good morning and evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bapak Dodik, for giving your time this morning. And well, by that, we officially have opened our summer course this year, even though it's virtually, but I hope it will be as festive as we wish to be. And then I think last time we were still talking between the Professor Satrio and also Dr. Jordan. Maybe you would like to some ending remarks on the discussions?
So I would just like to say thank you again. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to be involved with this program. And I know personally, I'm sincerely looking forward to building our respective efforts together and collaborating with IPB and in your efforts. Certainly you're bringing an enormous amount of expertise and experience with agriculture and sustainability that is actually a little bit unique at Villanova. So I think on behalf of the College of Villanova, we really welcome this type of partnership and this type of collaboration because the challenges that you look at are somewhat unique to our programs, and that agriculture and sustainable agriculture is a very important global issue. And it's certainly something that we don't always have a lot of expertise besides Dr. Satrio, of course. So having this type of collaboration is really, really beneficial to us at Villanova. It's certainly an effective way of engaging with our students. It changes the platform and the motivation for students in terms of why they learn certain topics, and engaging in global issues is a really important thing. So wanted to just thank you again, and really welcome this collaboration, and looking forward to working more in the future.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Jordan, for the ending remarks. Maybe Pak Sutrio like to add some more?
Yes, I would like again thank you to Jordan to speak on tonight, and your talk is very is right on for for our topic. And I just would like to let all of you, the participants, the students, know that we have a lot of experts here in the next 4 weeks. There are professors from 4 different universities, and then we'll also people who work in the industry, in the business sector. We have Dr. Alit from Chow Chocolate in Bali, for example, and then we have Mr. Tejo from Ranin Coffee, and they are all have an expert. So I would like to invite you to really use these opportunities, and then to to learn. One way is that to be proactive in this course, because then this is online course, so it is going to be a little bit challenging, but then this course will be successful when everybody is, all the students feel proactive in doing this course and in following this course. And then we will learn about some theories, but then also the big learning point that we would like you to have also to work as a team. You will be divided into 14 different teams, working with five team members in each team, and then that is the opportunity for all of you to learn together on this. And to follow up also to Dr. Emilio's mention about this collaboration between Villanova and IPB University, I really would like to invite the other university participants tonight, and then let's use the opportunities this summer course. So this will not be the first and the last, but then I hope this will be a beginning, where we can collaborate together, forming consortiums to really learn together, and then bring a research, education, and service on this. So let's use the time, this summer course, as an opportunity for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Papa Justinus. Yeah, we are very much grateful and honored for the partnerships between all of us over here with IPB University, Villanova University, UPI, UNJ, University Putra Malaysia, and also Maijo University. And we also are very happy to have heard the presentations and the very thoughtful discussions with Dr. Emilio. And I think Dr. Jordan Emilio has put his email in the chat box for everyone that could not have some time to give the questions at today's event. That will be fine. Everyone can reach out to him straight to his email address. So I think we can start maybe the last video showcase. This one, after the first one from the Dean, now we have the video from our students, participants from the all university partners. So I think Pa Angga, as the host, can share. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Satya and I'm a food science student at UPM. I would like to take a moment to thank you for this amazing Sustainable Agro-Industry Summer Course Program. I am beyond grateful to the committee members and to our supervisor, Dr. Yaya Rukayadi, for recommending us to join this program. It's unfortunate that we cannot attend this program in Indonesia due to the pandemic going on, but we really appreciate the efforts of the committee members and the other person involved in providing us the chance to attend this program online. So thank you once again, and I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Hi, we are chemistry educational students from Universitas Negeri Jakarta that recently in our third year education. We are really grateful for you that you have organized this program, which is held by two best universities.
Moreover, IPB is one of the best agriculture university in Indonesia. Meanwhile, Villanova University is one of the best university in engineering. Surely, the program of these two universities will be a very great collaboration.
We would like to take this program as an opportunity to gain new insight about agro-industry, especially sustainable agro-industry, and get various experience from the minds of its participants.
We will give our best to join this program, so we look forward to hearing a good news from you soon. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Tani Okta, student of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia and currently majoring in Agro-Industry Technology Education. It is such an honor to be the one of the participants of Sustainable Agro-Industry Summer Course Program. And also I'd like to say thank you to Miss Yati Sugiyarti and also Miss Mustika for recommending us to join in this program. I hope through this program will not only help us to gain better knowledge, but also open our vision more about immersion rural agro-industry problems. So once again, thank you, and I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Muhammad Aka Ramadan from study program of Agro-Industry Technology Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. I'm very excited to be part of the summer course on Sustainable Agro-Industry 2020. My biggest concern is to educate people and young generation to be interested in farming so that education become part to promote agro-industry sustainability. See you!
myself. My name is Rachada Ponsang. You can call me Thai. I studying at Meadow University. My major was agricultural engineering. I'm glad to be part of summer class.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica McKean and I am a senior chemical engineering student at Villanova University here in the US, and I'm so excited about this opportunity to connect with you all. We are joining this class as part of an ongoing sustainable development class that we have here on campus, and we've spent the first half of the semester learning about this concept of a food, water, and energy nexus and this interconnectedness of sustainability. So I'm really excited to explore this interconnectedness with the global community. Yeah, I'm excited to meet with you all and work together.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello everyone.
I'm Aldo.
I am Ben.
I am Dias.
I'm Fajri.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Nafla Talisa Nasution.
I am Hairunisa Putri Hania.
I am Ryan.
I am Rama.
We are second year student of IPB University.
Majoring in agro-industrial technology
through international class program.
First and foremost, we are thrilled to be a member of the summer course. Thank you for all of the committees who have organized this program.
We are very pleased to welcome everyone from overseas and Indonesia. Warmest greetings to all of you.
It is unfortunate that we will not be able to meet in person due to the pandemic. However, it is a pleasure to lend a hand whenever we need help.
We are anticipating to learn more about sustainable agro-industry. In addition, we are looking forward to cooperate with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jaya.
Jaya.
Okay, thank you very much to all of the students that have shared their video for the greetings to all of us. And I think we came actually to the last bit of our event today, and it's time to wrap up our event together. And before we take picture together, and maybe everyone could get prepared with the video on, and I would like to, on behalf of IBB University, of course, we would like to have a very much many thanks to everyone that attended today's event, especially from the IBB University side. And we had before Professor Suprihatin as the head of the Department of Agro-Industrial Engineering, and also from the UP, there's Dean Shalom Barliana, and also from UIN Villanova University, we have shared together Professor Justinus and also Dr. Jordan Emilio as our speaker today, and also for sure from the Maijo University and University Putra Malaysia as well. So I think the other one, we also would like to say thank you to the Ibu Yuli Rahmawati, PhDs Coordinator Program of Chemistry Educational. Everyone is ready to for us to take pictures. Maybe Pak Angga can give us the heads up to take the pictures together.
Okay, I want to take picture. This is our 5 page.
The first one page I will take picture. Okay. Okay. Second page.
What's your best smiles this morning
Okay.
or this evening?
Third page.
For the one States.
Page 4. And the last page. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paanga, as the host of today's event. And thank you for, we already took pictures together. And I think it's time for us to actually wrap up the today's talk and also some, of course. Please stay in the Zoom room and do not leave the room because the following events will be happening. Our wish is that today will be beneficial for all of us, and we are on Professor Justinus that this is the time for us to actually have some more partnership or any sort of collaborations. So despite this uneasy time, we wish to keep the positive spirit alive. So I think, yeah, one last reminder to everyone, participant of the summer course, to please stay in the Zoom room before getting taken over by the committee. So I think that's all from me. And I am Belladina Lovely as the moderator and also committee of the event today. I beg your pardon of the mistakes by all of us. And thank you and have a good day. And also have a good night.
Thank you, Dini.
Terima kasih, Bu.
Okay, please for the students, summer course students, stay in that room, and also maybe the lecturer and also the speaker for the program. I hope still we have still 45 minutes to go to introducing and also explaining some description of the summer course program. Of course, here I will lead the what is that called the class today. Here I have the